YouTube, man. Welcome to another post market analysis. Today is Thursday, the 8th of Jan. And yeah, we're just going through index play again. So, starting from again the daily, what was I expecting? On futures, so to be fair, like, I'm very much, actually, to be fair, yeah. So I was expecting a bearish day today because on the futures market, obviously on Nasdaq, the index, we actually didn't see us take out buy side, but we definitely did on the futures, and we actually ended up either at this fair value gap or at this daily order block. At the end of yesterday, let me just double check that now. Yeah, so fair value gap in it. So we took up price here. We were at this daily fair value gap already, but we took up price and we went into this fair value gap again. So regardless of where price is going, we're definitely gonna see, like, more often than not, we'll see either an indecisive day or bearish day after buy side liquidity sweep, even if price still wants to go to the upside. So just take that into account first and foremost. But yeah, so going into the index, which is what I traded today. I actually traded S&P today, so but I'll go into the reason why I took a few positions on S&P today. So going into the hourly, initially my big move, I either wanted it to be, it could have arrived at any time. The PM session, I wouldn't have minded it coming, but I knew that if it was to come during the PM session, we would have much less volatility in the markets for us to potentially take out the Judas swing low that was actually formed, and also due to the fact that this is a Judas swing low, I was thinking, yeah, it's unlikely for us to come up to here and then take another continuation leg to the downside and take this out. So I was very hesitant on that. So the trade that I actually did take, again, I'm not sure why this ain't coming up, because normally it's on my laptop. I don't know why it's not here. But anyway, let me just do that right now, so bear with me. But yeah, cool. So coming into market open here. Obviously midnight open here. Essentially, I was definitely looking for sells when we got here. Obviously taking our buy side liquidity here, and plus I think we're in a bearish 1 hour. But at the same time, I was hesitant because we took this out too, and we had an explosive move to the upside straight after. But as soon as I saw that we're at 1 hour here we go. We're at 1 hour fair value gap. Took up price, buy side liquidity as well. So manipulation inside a bearish PD array would give us strong signals to the downside. So I watched price just go down for equities open, clearing out this, which basically gave me the signal that, yeah, we wanted it to move bearish sort of thing. However, yeah, so while Nasdaq did this, S&P did something a bit different, which made me wanna, again, sorry, bear with, let me actually put this up. Let me put this on. Yeah, so while Nasdaq went down, S&P went down, we took up buy side liquidity here, and we formed an S&T divergence to the upside. So I was definitely looking for, even though I would like to say that I wouldn't say the markets. I was gonna say the markets were a bit uncorrelated today, but one thing I know is that when you see that Nasdaq and S&P are a bit uncorrelated, bro, stay out of the markets, man. Don't get chopped. Don't get cooked, bro. Please just stay out of the markets and just wait for price to correct itself a bit further. But we can even annotate as we go along. So coming into here, I saw that, we swept sell side liquidity here, going into the 5 minute now, just to get a clearer point of view. So we swept for our 5 minute sell side liquidity while forming an SMT here, because Nasdaq actually formed a lower low at this point, obviously with that crazy explosive move to the downside from equities open. So we had SMT divergence to the upside. As well as a liquidity sweep with S&P. So I was under the, first and foremost, I always assume by default that our leading index is going to be Nasdaq. So initially I was thinking, like maybe S&P is just going to follow Nasdaq. Like we're still going to get that lower low. However, I saw this impulse to the upside. I was on a 1 minute at this point now. I'm seeing a crazy impulse to the upside here. change of character, change of state of delivery. So I just thought, okay, cool. Yeah, I just thought, okay, cool. I think I wanted to, I wanted to take a buy here to this area, sorry. It's to this internal range liquidity. Because obviously, one thing about scalps, I don't always want to hold and expect this leg to be like the duration of the New York session, if that makes sense. I want a scalp to just be a scalp. And, like, if I'm entering on a 1 minute, then I'm probably going to be in a trade for like 15 minutes max, if I'm honest with you. So, so I saw this crazy, not really crazy, but a very furious up move. And then I saw this 1 minute fair value gap, of course. So I wanted to take a buy. So I did take a buy on here, sorry. First and foremost, I took a buy on here. It was around this area. Covered that low to this point. And then I had my target here. This was a break-even trade because by the time it got up there again, I must have went break-even. And then I wanted to see if this... So you can't even see it. Let me remove this now that you can see my position. But zooming in now, I wanted to see if this fair value gap would hold. And once it didn't hold and we actually went back down, fair enough, we actually just went back down to mitigate our 1 minute fair value gap again. I just didn't want to take the risk of losing that trade. So, I had a break even here. And then throughout the rest of the AM session, I was just a bit, or not really on the sidelines. I was watching price, but nothing was really fascinating me until we took this out. To be fair, again, I know this one's a bit of a longer analysis video, but so this was the high that was formed. This is London. No, it wasn't even London's high. It was Asia's high after yesterday's New York session. So it was even yesterday's high. So we'll mark that out first and foremost, just so we know where we are right now. So this is coming towards the PM session now, So this is just before the lunch hour, the end of the lunch hour, coming towards the PM session. And then if you were to imagine, so remember this, because I don't have both. I always just kind of toggle between NASDAQ and S&P like this, so I'm just on my laptop and my iPad at the same time. I just use my iPad as a monitor sort of thing. But cool, so here, this was where S&P took out that high from yesterday, and you can see here that there's an obvious case of divergence here. So we formed that S&T divergence plus obviously S&P taking it out, and this is the S&T divergence that was formed as well. So obviously this made me believe that, and to be fair, so going back to NASDAQ again, I initially wanted us to take out this buy side liquidity and kind of come into this 1 hour fair value gap so I can get a continuation to the downside. Obviously, again, I wasn't thinking that there was going to be an insurge of volatility, because we're coming towards the PM session and we actually use a lot of volatility with this leg here. So I was just thinking, okay, cool. If I could get price to come up to here during the end of lunch hour, I will take a sell. I'm not necessarily going to take my TP to the end here. I'm not assuming that we're actually going to go low and take out, high time frame sell side liquidity. However, I know that I can get a move from it, and obviously if price starts to range, then I'll do my due diligence, have a put on break even, or I'll just take it out. But we didn't end up getting there, but we formed this SMT to the downside. So I saw that on ES, went on to the lower time frames, and I saw bearish order flow after the SMT was formed as well. Here, one thing you got to do in this market, you need to know how to adapt. So here we go. Breaker structure, not breaker structure. This was the first breaker structure. I actually entered off of here after price reacted, and I simply just took my TP down there for a 1 to 2, and this was my win for today, and this was my first win of the week. It was actually a 1 to 2. Don't get twisted. It says a 1 to 2.5. I think I entered a bit later, so it was a 1 to 2 that I took. And yeah, man, that was essentially my W for today's price action. So yeah, happy to get that one in. And yeah, man, 2%. But yeah, essentially, again, what I kind of concluded after today's price action was really just stay on the markets and actually just watch price sometimes, because if it wasn't for me just staying in the markets and just watching price, I would have probably left after this was invalidated, or after I took a break even here. I would have think, cool, AM session kind of done, sort of thing. But I actually went to trade PM session today on a scalp, and it's only because I was just watching price, analyzing price, seeing what was, it was just more so me being a discretionary trader. Of course, this is my model. Like, everything had to kind of align. We had a buy side liquidity sweep, we have an SMT, and it was the end of lunch hour when a lot of the times, just after the lunch hour, price likes to take out some sort of internal range liquidity that was formed either in the AM session or during the lunch hour, and this is what happened as well. So, yeah, man, again, I was adaptive and I was discretionary when trading, which is what I've learned to be a skill set as a trader. Like, there's one guy called Justin Werlin. Apologies if I mispronounce his name, but just one guy called Justin Werlin who always kind of talks about the fact that you have to be discretionary as a trader, man. Not really have to be. Obviously, if you've got a model and, you've got a pinpoint time and, criteria as to when it plays out, then by all means do your thing. But with me, I like to be able to just read price action. You know what I'm trying to say? Even though this is still just one session, to develop as a trader, I want to, start. I wouldn't really trade London if I'm honest with you, not on indices, but on forex pairs, for example, when you have those nice continuation moves during London or whatever, or price takes out Asia highs or Asia range, and then goes a certain direction that you're anticipating. That's reading price action, and that's just being more and more familiar and growing as a trader, and just developing the skill set as a trader as well. So this was a testament. Like, this trade was a testament to what I'm trying to say, sort of thing, because it's not. I don't really normally trade PM session, but again, I'd like to think that I'm getting better at reading price action, sort of thing. So I just thought, because I'm getting better at reading price action, my confidence in taking trades and taking setups is increasing also. So, I just took the scalp essentially. I might be waffling a little bit here, but yeah, man, hopefully you understand what I'm trying to say here, man. But yeah, essentially that was the day today. So it was a 2%, and then I took a break even somewhere here as well, which could have went my direction if I just left it on for risk on, sorry. But yeah, all good, man. And yeah, man, I hope everyone enjoyed the trading day today. I think the charts are decent, man. The charts aren't too bad. At all. And bearing in mind it's the start of the year, the first week of the year, let alone the first month of the year. It's the first week of the year. You can't really complain. But yeah, man.